Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. William Zepeda does what William Zepeda does. He knocks out his opponent. In this case, it was Giovanni Cabrera. 29-year-old, came in with a 22 wins, only 7 KOs and 1 defeat. The defeat was 2 fights ago. That was to Isaac Cruz. But Zepeda, 28 years old from Mexico, he's a handful. He's a real handful. He's now 31 wins with 27 KOs, no draws, no defeats. And Cabrera is trained by Freddie Roach. Before the fight, he was clearly hyped for it because during the ring introductions, he was, very animated and he came out, and in the first round, I gave him the first round on pure energy. Zepeda likes to throw a ton of punches in every round. He's got that sort of buzzsaw style. But maybe he was just letting Cabrera shoot his bolt and, have some fun. And at no point was Zepeda hurt, but Cabrera, who again has a very low KO percentage, he was very busy, very energetic, moving a lot, lots of, offsetting Zepeda. And Zepeda was like, okay, you can, I'll have a look at you. In the second round, normal service was resumed because Zepeda went after him, Cabrera, and suddenly found his range, suddenly, got his technique moving, nice timing. He's a beautiful fighter to watch, Zepeda. He's in his prime, 28 years old, marvellous stuff. And once he found that range, that timing, and started to let his hands go, Cabrera has a strange, loose style, very sort of weird. He hasn't really got any time. He sort of offsets. It's a very sort of staccato type of style, and they're both southpaws, by the way. Both Cabrera and Zepeda are southpaws, and Cabrera was sort of flicking his jab, flick, 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 and then, but his hand there's no real defense to it. There's a huge gap in in his defense, and you just got the feeling that's a recipe for disaster against Zepeda. And sure enough, in the second round, Zepeda did let his hands go. Clearly won the second round, was landing some good punches. Cabrera showed a good chin. He went the distance with Isaac Cruz. That's not bad going. But in the third round, Zepeda really got his engine running and tore after him. Again, both southpaws, but Zepeda firing with both hands. Even though he leads with the right hand, he was firing hooks with the left and the right. It wasn't the case. There were backhands as well and body punches. And it was body punches from Zepeda that eventually unraveled Cabrera completely. There were 2 hooks to the body, left hooks to the body, mixed in with some right hands. I think right hand, was it a right hook? Might have been a right hook. And Cabrera went down on his knees, got up, tried to get up, but got up at 9.5, whatever, and the referee waved it off. And Cabrera looked rather sort of sheepish. He had a smile on his face as if to say, "Oh, well, I could have carried on," but I don't know. Zepeda's got this way of sort of banging the fight out of opponents. Just the sheer buzzsaw, intimidating, avalanche of punches that he throws. It did seem that Cabrera went from, in the first round, being so energetic, so proactive, to suddenly bumping into this, tsunami of punches and thinking, "Oh Christ, what have I? Oh my God, what's happening here?" And this isn't the first opponent Zepeda's done this to. You saw him against Maxi Hughes last time out, and Maxi Hughes is a very crafty, skillful fighter who knows how to survive. He had no answer to Zepeda. Went out in 4 rounds. Masito Gesta was another one. He had a pretty decent record coming in, over 30 wins, only a few defeats. He got done in 6 rounds. He does this to everyone. He kind of breaks their will. Rene Alvarado lasted 10 rounds, which was, bearing in mind the amount of defeats he's got on his record, he's really just a gatekeeper or journeyman. He lasted 10 rounds. That was back in 2022, though. Since then, it's all been knockouts for Zepeda. And I now that he's in his prime, and he's got the southpaw stance, which makes it, for some fighters, slightly more difficult, gives them another thing to think about. He's just a force to be reckoned with, Zepeda. He really is a terrific fighter, and a lot of fun to watch. I mean, the way that he kind of, again, I use this word, unravelled Cabrera so quickly. So Cabrera suddenly went from having, being up here in confidence and being proactive and coming forward and firing lots of punches, and suddenly second round, oh, hang on a minute, what's going on here? And in the third round, oh my God, he completely collapsed. Yeah, I mean, Cabrera will look back on this fight and will not want to remember it, but his technique was lacking. And if you haven't got the technique to keep Zepeda in his box, and that's incredibly difficult to do, you're not going anywhere, really. I want to see Zepeda in big fights, big lightweight fights. We saw a real snooze fest with Shakur Stevenson beating Artur Harutyunian of Germany, Armenia via Germany. And he was so boring to watch. Put Zepeda in with Stevenson. Christ's sake, let's have some action here. I'd rather watch this guy all day long than anyone who's got a belt. And to be honest with you, how Zepeda hasn't yet got a belt is beyond me, because he should have one. I mean, fantastic fighter, a lot of fun. No doubt will sell a lot of tickets and has that typical Mexican toughness. And he's fought in the US since about 2020, so about 4 years. I mean, he's known in the US. He deserves big fights. He deserves to fight Tank or Lomachenko or Shakur, because he's earned it. I think he's really earned it. And whoever he fights, it will be entertaining. He'll make it entertaining. And boxing, I mean, as much as I love skills, I love the technique of boxing, and I like pure boxing. I'm kind of a hardcore fan, but it's entertainment. You need entertainment as well. You need action. Like Bam Rodriguez is technically so beautiful to watch, and he's truly exciting as well. Chocolatito in his prime was the same. There's so many examples. Zepeda falls into that category. Skillful, but a lot of fun to watch. A lot of entertainment value there. So, what did you think? What do you think of Zepeda? Do you think do you rate him as highly as I do, or do you think no? He's just he's busy, but he's got that buzzsaw vibe to him, but at the same time he'll be found out eventually by a slickster like a Shakur. Maybe you think that, or Tank perhaps. Tank of course hits very, very hard and hunts people down well. He won't have to go looking for Zepeda. What do you think? You tell me what you think. Leave your comments below. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you knew when you could subscribe, it would be a massive help if you could subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that a great deal. And also, if you could hit the like button as well, because they count them apparently. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time as always, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.